Today's devotion is titled Be the One, and we're on day 82. And if you're following along on the calendar, we are on March 23rd. And the morning rinse is Ezekiel 22 through 24. So you know the drill. Go ahead and pause this and read those chapters in the morning rinse if you are on the journey of reading through the Bible through in a year. And obviously, you can go ahead and read it if you want. So Ezekiel 22 through 24. So come on back after you read that. The featured verse today is Ezekiel 22:30. I searched for a man among them who would build up the wall and stand in the gap before me for the land so that I would not destroy it. But I found no one. Well, we have already established through the course of this podcast that the book of Ezekiel documents the sins of Israel and some of the sermons that Ezekiel spoke. And we've also established that the book of Ezekiel is a very tough book to read. The symbolism is sprinkled throughout this book, including today's morning rinse. And you may ask, well, how am I to rinse and learn as I read books like Ezekiel? Well, hopefully I've pleaded my case basically to keep reading this book because of just so many nuggets that we can pull from, even though it's a really hard book to read. And even though we're sitting in the midst of this book that says all the different things that the Israelites were doing that were sinful, but the learning in this book is still to be found, and the nuggets are still there. So in today's featured verse, God stated that during this specific time of sinful acts of Israel, he was continually looking for people who would help build that spiritual wall and shield evil from the people. He continued to look for leaders to guide the people in a life of purity. And he never stopped looking for those who would rise above the standards of the world. Have you ever had a desire to find something and you continue to look for it despite not being able to see it? Well, I have to stop here and say a story because my husband, he never fails. It seems like he loses his keys all the time. And he's learned through the years some tips and tricks to help that not to occur so frequently. And in fact, years ago, for Christmas one year, I think I made like 20 copies of his keys and wrapped them up and gave them to him for Christmas one year. It wasn't the only thing that I got him for Christmas, but I remember specifically making a whole bunch of keys, and I think they all eventually got lost. And now he's got a system going on, and we've got multiple keys and or copies of them. But that is one example where he will look for his keys, all over and continually look for them. And not being able to find them, he'll continue to look for them until he needs them. And when we are looking for something, we have this hope and this desire and this belief that we are going to find it, right? We're going to look for it. We're going to find it. No matter how long it takes, we're going to keep looking for it. There's a need there. And I'm sure that while this example is not 100% perfect, I am sure that God in that moment, when Ezekiel was preaching to the people, he was hopeful in his search to find just one person. And the extremely sad part, though, is that he found no one. Not one person he could entrust in the mission of truth to join Ezekiel. And I can only imagine the grief that God felt when he admitted this. It's like, I can't find anyone. And I can only imagine how hurt and sad and pained his heart felt knowing he could not find even one more leader. Not one. And, this wall that was talked about was a spiritual wall. It wasn't this wall to build and keep people out. It's this spiritual wall. We as leaders, we, want to be that wall to protect those around us. Like, we're a wall to our family. We're a wall to our friends. We want to be that wall. I even think about it in real estate. There's been a couple of times where I've sold a home to clients and they will stake the ground around their home And what that would look like would be they actually go and get wood stakes. And there's a couple companies out that actually, customize these wood stakes. But basically, they're wood stakes that they will walk around and put them into the corners of their property. And basically, in the spirit realm, they bang them into the ground, and they basically are saying and declaring out into the spirit realm that this is my home. You will not come in. So the question is, can God trust you to live according to his standards instead of the world's around you? And can he trust you to be a good example to the world and to be the wall that he is asking you to be? Will you be that wall? Or is he going to have to keep looking because no one can be found? And if God is looking for just one more person to speak truth, if he's looking for just one more person to write a book, if he's looking for just one more person to be a leader in the community and live a life for Christ in the community, is he looking for one more person to position themselves in the corporate world to be a corporate light for people around, in corporate America? Is he looking for one more Christian realtor like myself that can help people across the United States and find like-minded people to help wherever you're at? Is he looking for one more entrepreneur? Is he looking for one more, singer, author, somebody to speak truth? Will you be the one? Will you be that person? When you look at the scriptures prior to the featured verse, so let's read the featured verse again. It's, I searched for a man among them who would build up the wall and stand in the gap before me for the land so that I would not destroy it, but I found no one. And I look at the verses prior to that verse, and he's listing the people, some of the actions that people were taking back then. These people of the land have practiced oppression and committed robbery. They've wronged the poor and they've wronged the needy and have oppressed the sojourner without justice. They've even said, they say the Lord God said this, but the Lord hadn't spoken, so he's listing off all these things that these people were doing, and it just makes my heart sad to read some of the things that the Israelites were doing, and yet they didn't change their ways. And they didn't change their ways enough to where that there wasn't one man that would rise to be the one to help Ezekiel. So today's challenge to dig deeper is to realize that God is looking for more people, for someone to do kingdom work. He's needing us to do kingdom work. And will you be that one? You are uniquely made. You are uniquely fashioned. You are uniquely you. And the reality of it is, there's no one in the world that can be you. There's no one in the world that can be Anita. There's no one in the world that can be my husband. No one in the world has that DNA. I mean, I hear this a lot where God throws out the mold when he makes us. And he has specific things that he wants us to do for his kingdom. And if we don't do those things, then he's got to call somebody else to do it. And they would do it totally different or partially different than what you would do it. And if he's asking you to do the thing, for whatever reason, he needs you to join in on those tasks or positions or, leadership roles. He needs someone to do kingdom work. He's looking for more people to do kingdom work. And will you be that one? Your challenge today is to just pray this prayer. Lord, when you are searching for the one, please find me. Help me to be the one you are looking for to carry out your mission. That is like such a simple prayer, and it can be difficult to follow suit with that, but it's such a simple prayer. Lord, when you are searching for the one, please find me. Help me to be the one you are looking for to carry out your mission. After you pray that prayer, then I challenge you and I commission you to go out into the world and look for an opportunity to be a leader. And then tonight, when you pull out your journal, write down, how does it feel to be the one? How does it feel to be the one called for this position? How does it feel to answer that call? I mean, did God present you with an opportunity today, or has there been an opportunity in the back of your mind or presented to you weeks ago that you've been sitting on and you just haven't answered whether or not you're going to do it? Did God present you with that weeks ago, and today is the day to actually accept that opportunity to speak into others around you? Is today the day to say yes? I want you to write down what is going on in your world right now and how you've received this, because these are the types of golden nuggets that we can glean from the word, and to read what is happening and to hear God's heart in all of this, and to know that he is looking for people to build spiritual walls around those around us. And I know that you will rise and be the one. And I want to hear about your stories. I want to know what you guys are doing and how you guys are living out this life. So go to my Facebook group. It's Rinse, Reflect, Repeat, and feel free to share your stories and things that you are gleaning from this devotional. It blesses my heart to no end. And if you don't have the devotional yet, then go to my show notes, pick it up, as well as go and pick up the journal, and keep rinsing, reflecting, and repeating. And I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you.